Okay, so we are back for day 2 on Lanks Creek. We should be receiving our wetsuit that we ordered yesterday, so we'll be able to access a lot more of the island. We also paid the move-in fees, so we'll be getting the upgraded home from the tent. We should also get the rest of the creatures to Tom Nook so that he will invite Blathers. Um, Also, we're going to need the shop materials. Timmy's going to ask us for those. So, going to spend most of the time having to get those together. That's also going to get us the axe recipe, and then we can start chopping down some trees and building some stuff. Um, Looks like I got some Nook miles from upgrading from the tent to the house. I also want to try and pay the next loan for the house and upgrade again before tomorrow, but I'm not sure if I'm going to get to that because it's going to take me some time to get all the resources so that we can actually build Nook's Cranny. So I got a recipe for a wooden table. And there it is, our wetsuit that we ordered. Now I'll be able to jump in the water, as you can see, and not only go diving and collect some things which make you some good amount of bells, if I remember correctly. I think in the beginning, that's how a lot of people make a decent amount of bells is by diving. So I did that for a little bit, found some things. I saw a little present and balloon in the back, and I was so sad that I didn't have a slingshot yet. I think I saw at least 4 or 5 go by, and I did not have a slingshot, so I couldn't get them. So that was depressing. If I remember correctly, I got the slingshot the next day. Once Nook's Cranny actually opened, I was able to go in and buy the recipe for the slingshot as well as buy a slingshot. So, recommend getting the wetsuit as soon as possible and obviously just all of the tools. So, next, I went into resident services and I got the prompt where they started talking about building Nook's Cranny. I actually never really care about the HHA. Also, 98,000 bells. It seems like a lot, but it's actually not a lot. So I think I should be able to pay that before tomorrow so that on the third day I can already be on the second upgrade of the house. I also just always craft a fishing rod and a net whenever I'm in here because I always need them because they always break. I need to get the upgrade for the better tools. $30 of each seems like a lot, but I actually got it pretty fast, except for the iron nuggets. I think I had to go to 2 mystery islands to get it. Maybe only one, but I'm gonna buy a campfire cookware because I need to spruce up my area now that I have a house instead of a tent. Okay, so I got some Nook miles for buying something for the first time. And I feel like it's so easy to get miles at the beginning because for some things you only have to do it like one or five or even 10 times. And then after that, it's like at least 50. So after that, as I was running around, passed by Hazel, and she actually gave me a shovel, which I wasn't expecting, but I was happy about because now I can dig up fossils and the buried bells and plant trees and yeah, all that good stuff. As you can see, that little tip of running at the certain angle, I was able to catch a wasp, and you get a decent amount of money for selling a wasp and the nest. Um, I found also a message in a bottle, and the DIY was a wooden table mirror. There was one of the little glowing buried bell spots, so then I went ahead and buried more bells in there so that a money tree will grow. Definitely recommend doing that as soon as possible. Also, when I was running around, I ran by Tad and he gave me some iron nuggets for the store, so that actually was helpful. Um, I then found snowballs right next to each other, and I was actually really proud of myself because I was able to make another perfect snowboy. That is 2 days in a row. So I went from never making them perfectly to 2 out of 2. I don't know if that streak will last, but so far so good. So I did the same technique of just trying to make the body be like the same dimensions as your player's body and then have the head be the same size. And again, a little present floating me by, and I don't have the damn slingshot to knock it down. Every time I see it, it pisses me off. Okay, so I got a decent 500 miles just from building the snowboy, and it actually didn't even have to be perfect to complete that task. So at this point, I was just running around and collecting the fish and the bugs to give to Tom Nook so that he would get the call from Blathers that he was coming to the island. I think it took 5. And then I went to see my new spacious house with my 4 little pieces of furniture. So I did the classic of just pushing everything over into the corners and against the wall. Um, I'm such a hoarder of things, especially at the beginning. I just keep everything because I swear I'm going to use it at some point. A makeshift little table of a cardboard box, a classic in Animal Crossing and college apartments. So after that, I also put my little campfire and got my daily bonus miles from logging in. And I also grabbed the pretty good tools recipe so that way I could upgrade them and they would stop breaking after using them all of, I don't know, 5 times. So that saved me just a little bit of a headache. I was happy that I could also finally plant the apples that I've been holding on to since I opened my first piece of mail. Um, I'll now have the pear trees, which I started with, and the apple trees. Okay, so I then went around and started hitting all of the rocks on my island, so I could get materials, specifically the iron nuggets that I needed for Nook's Cranny. I wasn't doing it at first, just because I was kind of too lazy, but I had seen that if you dig 3 spots behind you, so that way it stops you from bouncing back like that every time you hit the rock. You do the 3 holes behind you, and then you can just consistently keep hitting the rock, and it will have 9 materials spawn, I believe, or 8, but either way, it will give you the max amount. So at this point, I finally jumped in the water and swam past the mouth of the river to access the other parts that I couldn't get to before because the island was cutting them off. So that was one of the reasons why I ordered the wetsuit right away, is because it gives you access to the other parts of the island that you can get to by going around the beaches. And as you can see, once I got here, I did the shaking of the trees, and I was able to get an item, and then I jumped in the water, and I took the long way around to access the other side just because I wanted to do some diving along the way and see what I could get. So after I swam all the way around and arrived on that beach, I did the same thing of just shaking the trees, having my net ready in case any wasps came. Yeah, I also did pick the weeds out of those areas. I didn't record it just because it's boring and tedious to watch, but at this point, I don't have any weeds left on my island. At this point, I was just running around and collecting bugs and fish to give to Tom Nook, so that he would get the call from Blathers to come to the island. I believe it is 5 that you have to give him. So that is what I focused on. And then once I had that, I went back to give them to him. And each time you give him a critter, you get something from him. This time, when I gave him the sea bass, um, let's see what I'm gonna get in return. And I got the freaking axe. So here I was complaining that I needed it, and all I had to do was give Tom Nook the critters. I'm not sure if that was the second or the third one. I think it might have been the second one. But either way, give him the critters so that you can get the axe. I mean, it didn't take me that long to figure it out, but I wish I had figured it out sooner. So now that I have the axe, I just have to go get the 30 pieces of each wood to give and build Nook's Cranny. I actually prefer to use this axe instead of the other ones when collecting wood because you can hit the trees 3 times without chopping them down. Granted, it does break pretty easily and it's annoying. I think I had to remake it 2 times, maybe 3. So I think altogether it took maybe 3 axes. Um, it didn't take too long, but yeah, that's what I was doing. I just went around hitting all of the trees, also collecting creatures along the way and giving them to Tom Nook, um, because I want for tomorrow Nook's Cranny to be opening, as well as Blather's arriving. Those are the 2 goals that I'm trying to hit for today. Also, paying off the $98,000 Bell loan, but that is like lowest priority. I don't really care too much about that. I was actually so surprised that that worked because I was so slow in doing that. This clip is sped up faster too. So the fact that I was able to do that, switch my tool, and then still catch it, I was pretty proud. But it was just luck. There was like no skill involved in that whatsoever. So at this point, I was almost there for having all of the wood. I had 30 of the hardwood and 30 of the regular wood and 27 of the softwood. Um, so it really didn't take me that long, honestly, maybe like 10, 15-ish minutes. I did end up having to go to the Mystery Island, as you can see, to get more iron nuggets, but it really wasn't too big of a deal. And I think I only had to go to one of them in order to get enough to give to Timmy. So once I got to the Mystery Island, I did the same thing, shaking the trees, picking weeds, checking if there was any different fruit there. I did find a retro gas pump. I'll think I'll definitely be able to incorporate that into the Schitt's Creek theme. I also was able to catch another wasp. I think I've only gotten stung once so far. And then I also found Chester on the island. Not a fan. I don't like him, but I don't dislike him. I guess I'm indifferent. Found a message in a bottle, and it contained a recipe for a plain wooden shop sign. I also did a little fishing real quick, and to my surprise, I actually was able to catch a football fish. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, so I just went around hitting whatever rocks were there so that I could get the remainder of the iron nuggets. That was the only thing I needed to do. I did end up having to go to another mystery island to get more iron nuggets. I still don't have the recipe for the ladder, so I'm not able to climb up to any of the higher surfaces that have more rocks that can be hit. So, but I don't mind. I like going to the mystery islands. And as you can see, I dug that hole behind my character so that um, when she hits it, she doesn't bounce back, and then it'll allow you to spawn more resources. It didn't quite work that time the way I wanted it to, but you'll see right here that it does work um, the intended way. So you just want to hit and make sure. Also, I should have picked up that one stone that was on the ground because then it would have spawned another resource in that spot. So after that, I had hit all the stones that were there. So I just wrapped up, headed back to my island. Um, I also gave Tom Nook some more creatures. As I said, I wanted to give him the 5, so that way the tent for Blathers would be set up tomorrow, along with Nook's Cranny. And I also wanted to pay down the $98,000 bell loan. I didn't show it in the video because I ended up finishing before I got there, but then later on that night I got bored, so I put my Switch on again and I ended up selling enough stuff so that I could upgrade again. So for day 3, we'll be looking at Nook's Cranny opening, Blathers being there with his tent, and then I'll also have a little bit bigger of a house. So that will be exciting. Like I said, I did end up having to get another Nook Miles ticket so that I could go to another Mystery Island and get the remaining iron nuggets. That was kind of the only one that was tedious because obviously there's only so many rocks um, and it's random what they spawn and how many they're going to spawn. But aside from that, you should definitely be able to get all of the materials to give to Timmy for the construction of Nook's Cranny in a very short amount of time. It shouldn't take that long at all. But again, just play at whatever pace. Um, I'm not really trying to rush, but I do want to get like some of the basic stuff set up. Um, I'm also already anticipating probably wanting to move everything and replace things, but we'll just have to see when that time comes. So then, same thing on each island. This one, I actually shook the tree and got a basketball hoop. So after that, I hit whatever rocks I could, and then I finally got the remaining amount of iron nuggets that I needed. I also ran into Sherb while I was on this island. I like his sweater. I don't know that. Again, indifferent. Don't like and don't dislike. Um, I also found a fossil on this island. I can't wait for Blathers to start accepting them. Collecting the fossils is I think my favorite part. I think it's always kind of been my favorite part. I'm not sure why, but I definitely enjoy the collecting of the fossils. So at this point, I just wrapped up and headed back to my island so that I could give Timmy the remainder of the supplies. So I got the construction kit. Um, I also gave him the last of the critters we needed to get Blather's tent. I had no idea where I wanted to put either of these, and I'm not so sure that they're going to stay where they are. Actually, I'm pretty positive they're not going to stay where they currently are, but they'll just have to do for now for just getting things placed. So I ended up putting Blather's tent like by the beach along the coast, I guess. I don't know why, but it'll work for now. I don't know if I hate it or I probably hate it. And then for the shop, I ended up just putting it right behind the resident services tent. Um, I like it for now. It just keeps everything close by and convenient. So, yeah, at this point, I had done what I had anticipated doing for the second day. So, I'm pretty excited for the stuff we're going to be doing on the third day and the progress we've made so far. So, yeah, if you have any questions or comments or suggestions, anything like that, just leave me a comment. Thanks.